The odd-looking woman slipped the napkin into an envelope, addressed herself in Boston, sealed it, and stashed it away. She rearranged herself and picked up a brochure, the better to acquaint herself with Korea, land of the morning calm. The plane touched down. The woman cupped her hands around her face, peered out the porthole. Darkness. Then huge red letters wheeling into sight. Kimpo. She gathered up her onboard luggage and made her way out of the plane toward the line going through passport control. She tried not to think about that slightly deceptive visa. She shifted her baggage to her left hand and made her mind go blank as she handed the Korean agent the required statement of purpose. "Why do you come to Korea?" the agent asked, smiling pleasantly. "Why? To visit. I've always wanted to see Korea and learn Hangul." She smiled back. "I see you're a teacher. You can't work here, you know," the man said, smiling even more broadly. "Work? Heavens, no. I'm on vacation." He stamped her passport and gave it back to him. He smiled and inclined his head. "Welcome to Korea. Have a nice visit." She accepted the passport and smiled and inclined her head. What's all that about, she wondered, as she made her way to the luggage carousel. Was he suspicious, or am I just being so paranoid? I guess I made myself appear sufficiently inane by suggesting that I came all the way to Korea to learn the alphabet. A nice dumb tourist touch that was. She began to wait for her luggage to emerge from the mud-flapped chute of the baggage room. From long experience, she knew that her own suitcase would be among the last to arrive. It was one of the immutable laws of travel. Another such law was that while she waited, at least one of the first pieces of baggage to come out would go round and round and remain unclaimed by the time her own had finally arrived. This was something she could only attribute to a predictable flow of dead tourist bombs. As the woman was reflecting upon this phenomenon, she was approached by the frizzy Americans she'd seen on the plane. The other woman came up beside her and asked in low tone, "Are you the new teacher?" "Yeah, who's the other one?" "Didn't you see that?" said the other teacher. "See what?" "She didn't make it." "What?" "She had a one-way ticket and not enough money. She had a tourist visa. Customs said no. They're sending her back, but only as far as Hawaii. Lucky they didn't scope me out." "Jesus, I'm lucky too," said the odd-looking woman. "You went to Gangnam School?" The other asked. "Yes, are you?" "No, I'm at Chong now. She was going to your place. Looks like you'll be sure to teach it." The other woman picked up her bags, wished her luck, and walked away. Her luggage came through at last, and she made her way through customs and out to the passenger reception area, eyeing the awaiting throng. Among the crowd of Koreans, she picked out a well-tailored American woman with blue-white hair who was holding a placard that read ELL, Gangnam, Seoul. The two made eye contact and wound their way through each other. The blue-haired woman's voice was serious. Her handshake was firm. Her smile perfunctory. "Welcome to Korea. I'm Maria Benjamin. The teachers call me Benny. Carla Winnemute, glad to meet you. You're the academic director. Usually Mr. Kim comes too. Carla Winnemute nodded wisely. We'll have to wait here until Mr. Han parks the bongo. Do you want to change some money before you leave the airport? Benny's flat tone suggested it would be a good idea. Ah, yeah. Where? Said Carla, craning her neck to take in the terminal. Benny pointed behind herself with her chin. As Carla was returning from the exchange with a fistful of yuan, Mr. Han appeared at Benny's side. And by the time Carla caught up with him, they picked up the baggage and were approaching the exit. The three marched smartly into the cold night air and across the parking lot. Benny imparted information to Carla as they walked. Albert is the administrative director. If you have any problem with banking or bills, ask Albert. Albert, said Carla. If you have any problems with the apartment itself, tell the addressee. Mr. Kim is the... Oh, here's the bongo. The bongo was a sort of bus van affair into which Carla's luggage was loaded. Mr. Han got behind the wheel, and Carla and Wintemute and Benny took a long seat behind him. Once they'd started off, Benny resumed the briefing in her colorless voice, delivering an oral summary of the contents of each as she passed it over to Carla. Benny handed her an English-Korean phrase book, a map of South Korea, a tourist guide, sheets of teaching tips, schedules, syllabi, guidelines, resources, objectives, insurance options, pay schedules, banking information. Perhaps Carla would want to look it over tomorrow, more in depth. Orientation began on Monday. They'd be going into it more in depth with the other new teachers then. Carla Winnemute accepted each renewed document with a comprehending nod. Occasionally, I see. Although in truth she could hardly see a thing. How should I, she said. It's midnight and pitch black. They seem to be in the middle of nowhere and driving too fast. Without any change in lack of inflection, Benny had shifted topics. As if Stillboy wrote, she said, there was supposed to be 4 of you for Gangnam, but one just got sent back to Hawaii tonight. We'll be short until we can get a replacement. The other 2 should arrive tomorrow. Your roommate is Mary Quick. I think Sun Yu will actually meet us there. I see. I'm not going there now? There was the slightest pause before Benny answered. Yes. Oh, I see. Outside the windows, Seoul was beginning to appear and disappear. Faraway slices of light followed, swallowed by incoherent shadows. Did the American office inform you of our tragedy? Asked Benny, more somber yet in timber, but still with no apparent emotion. Yes, they said the staff might be a little depressed. Benny's monotone stiffened. If the police hadn't been so busy interrogating our teachers, they might have their man by now. They were so bound and determined that a foreigner had something to do with it. And who was it actually? Carla asked. Korea. It's a typical burglary for here. The thief must have thought the apartment was empty since both of the teachers had been away. About a week and a half ago, they recovered a cassette that had been stolen that night. It was in a hock shop. It had been pawned by a middle-aged Korean. Have they been covering the hock shops last month, instead of searching the faculty apartments? They might have had it. Carla made a sympathetic noise. But from the staff. So much so that we lost 3 teachers because of it. It must not be easy finding replacements in the best of times. South Korea gets a bad press. The demonstrations are mostly centered around the universities. You want to avoid them because the riot squads are quite liberal with the tear gas, and even blocks away it can be quite irritating.